Caitlin Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Clark, who is just 22 years old, is the only professional women's basketball player on this.
Imagine this. A 22-year-old basketball star breaks records, grabs the attention of millions, and earns a spot on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. It might sound like a fairy tale, but for Caitlin Clark, it's just another day at work.
As Clark was chosen for leading the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance in 8 years, while breaking the WNBA single-season assist record and earning Rookie of the Year honors. But wait, there's more. She also led the WNBA All-Star Game voting with more than 700,000 ballots and has been credited with an increase in league viewership and attendance.
But not everyone is thrilled. As Clark's star continues to rise, another WNBA legend, Aya Wilson, is feeling the heat. Her efforts to stay in the spotlight are catching attention, but not for the right reasons. Is jealousy brewing in the WNBA? Absolutely, and we're here to break it all down.
Knew A'ja Wilson was overrated. Eric, let me see your resume. That's what
Caitlin Clark recently secured a spot on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, a huge achievement beyond the basketball court. This recognition is the business world's way of saying, this person is going places. Clark is the only WNBA player to make the list this year, proving she's not just playing the game, but redefining what it means to be a young athlete today.
I just come out here and try to, play basketball in a way that people love watching, in a way that is going to make my team successful, and the records and whatever, or the stats, that's just what.
So, why couldn't Forbes overlook Caitlin Clark? Her freshman season wasn't just good, it was groundbreaking. She shattered 62 records. Yes, 62. Clark looked at the record books and said, I can do better. And she did. But it gets even more impressive. She didn't just shine on the court, she brought in fans like never before. Her games saw viewership 4 times higher than the league average. That's not just a win for Clark. It's a win for the entire WNBA.
As the sole representative of the WNBA on the list, Forbes credited Clark with building viewership and bringing attention to the league during her record-setting.
The numbers are staggering. Dr. Ryan Brewer, a sports economics expert, put it best. The numbers are so big, they almost don't seem real. He's talking about Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA. TV viewership for women's basketball in 2024 increased fourfold compared to 2023. But it doesn't stop there. Clark's total earnings for the year hit $1.1 million, the highest in the WNBA. Here's the kicker. About 95% of that came from endorsements. Her Nike deal alone is worth $28 million over 8 years, a yearly sum 46 times her WNBA salary. What does this mean for women's basketball? Simple. Clark isn't just playing the game. She's changing it, proving that fans will tune in, support, and pay for great athletes and exciting gameplay, not just drama.
People that have showed up in the stadiums, from the viewership numbers to people really wanting to wear a WNBA player's jersey or buy their merch or whatever it is, or have their shoe. Just how it's evolved in such a short period of time, I think shows everyone, there is real opportunity.
Caitlin Clark's Forbes recognition isn't just a personal win. It's a statement that women's basketball is here to stay. Played the right way, it's just as thrilling as any other sport. And Clark is leading the charge, breaking records with every game.
These are the B's that are being dramatic about Caitlin Clark. That's all I see. They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they got to be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they got to be drama because.
You'd think Clark's success would have the entire WNBA celebrating, but behind the scenes, it's a different story. So, what's really happening in those locker rooms, and why does Aya Wilson's name keep coming up?
What do you think it'll be, Josh? Don't piss me off. Do not piss me.
When Caitlin Clark first entered the WNBA, the excitement was palpable. Fans couldn't wait to see her college magic translate to the pro court. But as Clark's star continued to rise, not everyone in the league was thrilled. Some veteran players began feeling the pressure, and Aya Wilson, in particular, has been making her own waves.
Clark, I'm sure you saw, just became the all-time scoring leader in women's college basketball. I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's tough because you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine.
Let's unpack what's going on. While Clark's been breaking records, some WNBA veterans are feeling overshadowed. It's no longer just about the games. It's about endorsements, media attention, salary offers, and even speaking fees. And that's where things get really interesting.
Little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that. How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap.
Remember when news broke about Clark's virtual speaking fee? It didn't take long for Aya Wilson's camp to leak their own numbers. Suddenly, reports surfaced that Wilson charges $110,000 for virtual appearances, $10,000 more than Clark's reported fee. A coincidence? Fans don't think so.
Talking about, she's charging $100K for speaking events, and fans is like, Shrek? Since when? And you only doing this because of...
Here's the thing. Caitlin Clark isn't just changing how the game is played. She's transforming the entire business of women's basketball. With every record she breaks and every fan she draws in, she's proving that women's sports can be big business. That benefits everyone in the league, even if some players are slow to see it. Now, let's get back to it.
A'ja Wilson's not 30.
As Clark continues to shine, the contrast with her critics becomes even clearer. So, what do industry insiders and fans really think about this drama? The answers reveal more than just opinions on basketball. They're helping shape the future of women's sports.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate because that's how I get the best out.
Social media has been buzzing with reactions to Wilson's latest moves, and fans aren't impressed. Remember when both Wilson and Clark turned down offers from Unrivaled, the new 3-on-3 league? Clark's decision was about self-care after a tough year. But Wilson's camp leaked that her offer was bigger than Clark's, despite less clear reasons. One fan summed it up best. Nobody asked, Aya. You could have just said no and kept it moving.
Idea of some players being jealous? Yes, that probably exists. Okay. And that is unfair. Okay. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is before you step foot in the...
It's not just random fans throwing shade. Basketball and sports journalists are weighing in, pointing out how obvious Wilson's attempts to stay in the spotlight have become. It's like watching a seasoned pro fumble a basic play. Everyone can see what's happening, and it's not a good look. Despite the jealousy, Clark isn't focused on herself alone. She's even proposed paying opponents more when she plays, a bold idea that shows she recognizes her star power and wants to use it to elevate the entire league. While Wilson might be grabbing for headlines, Clark is quietly changing the game, and fans aren't just watching, they're cheering for a whole new era in women's basketball.
What it is, but these women forever hating on CC, though, it's looking real spooky out there for a bunch of these WNBAs.
The WNBA is at a crossroads, and Caitlin Clark is holding the map. As she leads the way into the league's future, some veteran players are digging in their heels. Is the WNBA ready for the change Clark represents, or will the growing pains hold it back? Let's talk about the generational shift happening right before our eyes. Caitlin Clark isn't just a new player, she's a whole new kind of athlete, bringing fresh energy, a new style of play, and a massive fan following that's making the old guard take notice.
Wilson is the queen of the delusion. She's absolutely the queen of the delusion.
Here's where it gets interesting. While fans are going wild for Clark, some veteran players are feeling the heat. It's not just jealousy. It's about a changing of the guard happening faster than anyone expected. These vets have spent years paving the way for women's basketball, only to watch a rookie come in and reap the rewards. It's not an easy pill to swallow. Imagine spending years fighting for recognition, better pay, and more media coverage, then watching a young phenom achieve all of that and more in her first season. It's no wonder some players are struggling with it.
Thing about leadership is like how you approach every single person is going to be completely different. And I think the thing that's helped me be successful throughout my career has been the relationships that I've been able to build with people. And every single person you have to approach differently because they come from a different background, they come from a different place. Somebody can be a little more tenderhearted, and for me, I'm probably want to be screamed at. Like, it's just everybody's a little bit different. So I think that's what's unique about leadership and being able to understand people, but that takes time, and building relationships is really...
Now, let's dive into what this means for the league's future. Experts predict that the upcoming CBA negotiations could bring big changes to how players are paid.
Why?
Because Clark is showing just how much one player can impact the league's bottom line. League officials are starting to realize that the old ways just won't work anymore. There's talk of a major overhaul of the WNBA's financial structures, all thanks to the Clark effect.
Television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't.
Some experts are comparing Clark to NBA and NFL stars who've used their marketability to land better contracts and endorsements. Clark is doing the same for the WNBA, but it's not just about money. She's bringing new attention to women's basketball. The WNBA is at a turning point. They can embrace the change and ride the wave Clark is creating, or resist it and risk falling behind.
And everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not? Until Caitlin